Is this it? We're already here? Somehow I expected more.
I bid you welcome to my sky fortress, the Bahamut. I must apologize for my delay in welcoming you aboard my ship. Permit me to ask, who are you? An angel of vengeance? Or perchance a saint of salvation?
I am simply myself. No more and no less. And I want only to be free.
Such a woman is not fit to bear the burden of rule. Weep for Dalmasca, for she is lost. Observe well, Asa. Watch and mark you, the suffering of one who must rule, yet lacks the power.
No. No, brother. I will not. Though I lack your power, I will still persist.
Bold words, child.
Lord Laza.
No. He doesn't need weapons.
Your lives are forfeit, and your insurgents with them. Dalmasca will again know order. For good and all, I shall bring your futile attempts at rebellion to an end.
Okay.
What am I to do with those who would oppose me? But show them death!
So much of the dialogue in this game just equates to, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop that thing you're doing that I don't like. Stop that. You cut that out now. Oh my god, he punched us in real life. Broke through the glass. He just punched us. That's kind of cool. Fourth wall shattered.
Lord Brother! Larsa!
Whoops.
Manufactured nethicite.
Manufactured nethicite.
Behold the power left me by our fallen friend.
That was interesting.
Gabranth, you will defend my brother. He will have much need in the hell to follow.
Oh, shocker. We already knew that he didn't like Vayne.
I will defend Lord Larsa.
The hound strays. Treason bears a price.
We already knew this.
One I gladly pay.
He already left and fought Cid. You didn't send him with Cid. He went with Cid. He followed Cid. Okay. It's official. I hate Vayne. Such a stupid character to me. Like, because he's not even strong until he takes Cid's power. We fought Vayne, and he just sucked. And it took us 2 seconds to beat him, and he was worse than Gabranth. He was weaker than Gabranth. The whole game has been, like, building up to Vayne being this, like, super villain, and Vayne sucked. The only reason he's strong is because of the Vayne. How lame. Like, this isn't Vayne, this is the superpower. The manufactured nethicite. I mean, is it the nethicite or is it Vayne? I guess it's either one, but still, it's not him. The only thing he did was kill his dad, who was 80 years old and was very easy to kill. That's the only real thing. Like, other than that, he's kind of dumb. Like, he's just a politician. And the two, like, I mean, I know they're not really supposed to be plot twists, but the two, like, reveals of Larsa and then Gabranth turning on him, we already knew. We already knew that Gabranth had turned on Vayne, and we also knew from literally like an hour into the game that Larsa was going to turn on Vayne. So, like, I don't really get what we're supposed to be, like, about. Die! Ouch. No, I didn't say characters are only good if they're demigods. Vayne is set up as the main villain, and he's lame. He sucks. We killed him in like 5 seconds. He's supposed to be more powerful than all of the other judges, and he's like, everyone's afraid of him, and he's supposed to be the big bad guy. And he blows. I'm not afraid of him at all. I'm afraid of this version of him, but not the regular Vayne.
Ivalice will know a new dynast king, and man will keep his own history. The tyranny of the gods is ended. We are their puppets no more. The freedom for which we have longed is at hand.
Okay, well now at least we're getting into his true desire is to, like, escape the gods, I guess. Makes sense. Where's Vayne, though?
We shall perish.
Man, he has a lot of moves. can't scratch his back anymore. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying with, like, he's not physically strong. He's just a politician. And that doesn't necessarily make him a bad villain. But for me, I don't know. I just don't... I don't think he's a good villain. All he did was do one speech that was like, oh wow, he's being a nice guy, but then he wasn't a nice guy. And then he killed his dad. That's all that's happened. Like, I don't... Just not buying him. Sid was much better of a villain than he was. Sid was like crazy and had all these crazy dialogue and ow. Let's see if he... see what happens now.
Even a stray has pride. Here I pay my debt.
Burn in hell! Goblins!
There he is.
Bosh, tell me, he is a good master? Aye.
Kinda cold, huh? Bosh, kinda cold. Oh, he's dead. Moving on.
Penna! I have failed us both. I am no Dynast king.
You must find another. One who might realize your ambitions.
They are fulfilled beyond your knowing. The Christ is sundered. Age of Stones complete. From the Undying Ones, the world is freed. You shall not tread this path alone. Together we go. Come.
Oh. Won't Cid be eager to learn what has happened here? History begins anew.
That was pretty dope. And he's called the Undying. That was really cool. What was with him, like, giving up, though? Like, I'm supposed to buy him as the main villain, but he was just like, find someone else. I failed. I suck. That doesn't sound like a villain to me. He should have come out here and been like, save me. Give me the power. I won't surrender to these heathens. You know, like a typical villain would. Instead, he's just like, yeah, I blew it. But that's the true bro. I got you. Mega Flare. Ooh! That hurt. I wish I had MP. Start throwing some high ethers. Won't need these where I'm going. Oh yeah, I remember this. I didn't until you mentioned it. But now that you mention it, I do remember that this guy has no health bar. I remember just sitting here like, am I doing something wrong? Is he gonna die? Kind of weird. I kind of like it though. Makes it a bit more epic and mysterious. We actually have no idea how strong this guy is. I also like how silly it is that he like sits in range for us, so we can hit him. He could easily fly away, and I'll sit right here so you can hit me. Oh, I love the main theme there. Kind of like mixed in with the battle theme. Is that even the main theme, or is that just the first area theme? Like the Esther scene. I don't know, it's cool though. He'll be okay, right? Well, he just blocks it. What a legend. Blocked it again. Can I even hurt him? He was immune before. Yeah, he's immune. I'm just chilling, I guess. Trying to keep him dispelled. Oh, now he's immune to physical. He was like Magneto. Did you not just blow up the entire ship we're standing on? How does this work? But I got this, boys. Keep me alive. Like Final Fantasy XI final boss, where he switches between magic and physical immunity. What if they did that on purpose? Yeah, I don't even know if, like, combined is the right word. It's more like Vayne is using him as a vessel, which seems to have been his plan from the beginning. It's Venomoth. Wait a second. Okay, he's immune to everything now? So that's cool. He's also blinking red, so he must be almost dead. Must be like his final I'm immune to everything, survive phase. final form. Uh-oh. I love that he stopped talking, and he's just kind of making noises now. Okay, this ship we're on is definitely exploded. It's definitely, like, dead. He's not immune anymore! Get him! Attack! Now's our time! Laying down the damage. Got him. Wow, sick handshake. Oh yeah, there's still a war.
Well, can we fly?
No fuel goes to the Glossair engines.
Damn. Vaughn, you're in charge. I'm checking the engine room.
Right.
Fran, with me.
Look! Bahamut's Glossair rings are stopping!
It's gonna fall right on the city.
As soon as the Strahls rings move, you take off. Understood? You can fly her, Vaughn. Just do it like I told you.
Don't worry.
Penelo, watch for interference from Bahamut's Skystone. The Strahls a fickle girl. You keep her working for us.
I'll see what I can do.
Penelo, do something. Dang it. Finally.
Bosh, look after Larsa, will you?
Oh, I thought he was dead.
If House Solidor should crumble, the Empire would fail, and civil war would take us all.
I understand.
The Lord Larsa is our last hope.
Vaughn, the power's back. We can go.
Right. Let's go. grab onto something.
Sir, it's the Stroll. She's left Bahamut. She's moving away.
The Stroll. They made it. At last. The Bahamut has fallen. The final test is upon us. The judges shall rule us no more. Main cannon on the Alexander.
This is Judge Magister Gabon. All forces cease fire. I repeat, all units of the Arcadian army, hold your fire.
The battle is over. As of this moment, we have signed a ceasefire with the Shelia Benargan Dalmasca, the Royal Majesty.
Oh, Larsa
Attention.
looking different.
This is Larsa Farinus Solidor.
My brother Vayne has died with honor in battle. The Imperial fleet is now under my command.
Sir, your orders, sir.
This is Ashelia Dalmasca.
The Lady Ash. Thank the gods you live.
I confirm what Judge Magister Gabranth and Larsa Solidor have said here.
Please stand down your attack. The war is over. Evilise looks to the horizon.
A new day has dawned. We are free. Look, Vaughn, the Bahamut.
A message from the Alexander.
Take it.
Sir.
This is Judge Zargabath, captain of the Alexander, flagship of the 12th Damascan fleet of the Arcadian army.
I address all ships in Rabanasta's airspace. The Bahamut must not be allowed to fall on the city of Rabanasta.
We are preparing to ram her. Do not interfere.
Madness.
Should she fall, the paling will not hold.
And all Rabanasta will be obliterated. All ships, concentrate your fire on the Alexander's remains once Bahamut is clear of the city.
Hasty, aren't they? I think it's a little early to be throwing away our lives just yet.
Balthier? Wait! Balthier, where are you?
Not in the engine room.
Oh, Vaughn. Sounds like you made it out okay. The Stral's a fine airship, eh?
What does he think he's doing? Balthier!
Marquis, stop that fool judge on the Alexander for me, would you? Just getting somewhere with these glossair rings. Almost done. Don't want him ramming me before I fix them, do we?
Balthier, do you understand exactly what it is you're doing?
Princess! No need to worry. I hope you haven't forgotten my role in this little story. I'm the leading man. You know what they say about the leading man? He never dies.
So wait, it was just that little generator that was powering the entire ship? It's just that one that went
fly.
around?
Fran, power to the glossair rings. Fran? Do I have to do everything around here?
Listen to me, Balthier. Get out of Bahamut immediately.
Please, Balthier, you mustn't die.
Please, Balthier. Come back.
I'd say you're in more of a supporting role.
Fran, please. Vaughn, the Stral's in your hands. You'd better take care of her, you hear? If there's one scratch on her when I get back...
Roger that. We'll be waiting for you.
Balthier!
I don't remember this song. Let's hope it doesn't get copyrighted. Who is she? I like her. She's a cool looking character.
It's hard to believe a year has passed so quickly.
Never mind, I hate her. I heard her voice, I was like, wait, never mind. Take it back.
When my parents were still alive.
She turned into a...
We've lost so much. But
Something.
I think it's important to put the past behind us and keep our eyes on the road ahead.
I wonder if you go to that in the DS game.
Ash's coronation is next month.
That would be cool.
She grows farther and farther away from us. But I guess that's how it has to be. She is queen now, after all.
Man, she looks so much like a female Vaughn.
I am looking forward to seeing you at the ceremony.
You called, my lord.
How is Bosh? I know he went with you to Arcades to further the cause of peace in Ivalice, but still, I hope he comes back to Rabanastre and Ash soon. She has to keep up appearances now, so she would never say it, but I think she misses him.
Lose Lhasa, and we lose the Empire. Protect him. I would entrust him to no other's care.
I will keep him from harm. I promise you. For the Empire and for Dalmasca.
Your words put me at ease, brother. Sorry to leave you.
Time goes by, I know you'll see. This sets me here. I love you enough to let you go free.
Oh, I haven't told you the most important part. Vaughn and I had been taking care of the straw, but it was stolen. We had just finished having her tuned up, too. What's it say? Give it here.
All your fears into the sky. Kiss me goodbye.
Actually, stolen might not be the right word. If her owner wants her back, there's not much we can do about it, is there? There's still plenty of time before the coronation. So Vaughn's going to pay the two of them a visit. You should see him. He can hardly wait. I'll be going too, of course. Every good sky pirate needs a partner, right?
Who are you? Wait. Is that what I think it was? Was that him leaving without her? Or did I miss something? She was like, I'm going with him, and then he went without her. What? What? Why did he do that? We got the bad ending, dang it. Or is he picking her up? I don't... Was he picking her up? Because she, like, looked up, and then he was, like, gone. Or was he late? Okay. Good. I'm glad, because I was like, wait. I thought the whole point was, like, he's not leaving her behind anymore. I was confused. I was like, what, did he not learn anything? So anyways, first of all, I have a lot to say. First of all, Balthier, best character. Like, that was so great. That was... He is 100% the best character. Should have been the main character. That was fantastic. And it totally fit, like, the whole leading man thing they were building up to, and, like, Fran being with him till the end, and the way that he lied to them at the end. Like, it was perfect. It's perfect. Loved it. I'm still not sold on Vayne, like, but we already talked about that. But the ending fight and stuff was all epic and stuff, and I liked that, and that was all fine. I like how things wrapped up with the war. Like, that was cool. I think it all fit. The actual, like, epilogue was, like, whatever. Like, everyone just kind of ended up where we thought they would, and there wasn't really any shock or anything. I kind of like how Bosh ended up with Larsa, and Ash became queen, and Vaughn and Penelo are together, and Vaughn trusts her now, and, like, that's all kind of just all nicely... Pretty much everything from the beginning of the game, how we knew it was going to happen, happened. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but more of just pointing it out. Like, basically just everyone did what they said they were going to do. Well, it sounded like Kingdom Hearts for a second. I do like... So, Vaughn's arc, I gotta admit, I kind of like it. Like, at least at the end, he really did give over the reins to Vaughn, and Vaughn really did become, not really a sky pirate, but he got to fly it, and he was the one that flew him off, and, like, all that... That arc kind of, like, actually did have a little bit of a payoff, which was cool. What was that? Fran before she became Fran? That's cool. That's a really cute picture. I want that picture. Like, I want that as a wallpaper. So, like, I actually kind of liked how that all worked out. Now, let me hit you with this. You ready for this? This is my patented Death is going to try to improve the story in 2 seconds. I did this with... What did I do this with before? Was it 11? There was something I pointed out where everyone was like, wow, that would have been so much better. I forget which one it was. This one you might not agree with me. I could totally get if you don't agree with me. But I'm going to throw it out there because I was thinking about it during the end cutscene. So here's my Let's Improve Final Fantasy XII's finale in 2 seconds. Okay? What if when we defeated Vayne and he was walking away and he was like, find someone else, I'm not strong enough, I blew it. And Vayne was like, no, we're gonna combine together and we're gonna become the ultimate god and kill everyone. What if he did some kind of, like, power thing where he, like, because he basically, like, he dissipated and then, like, appeared on Vayne. What if he did some kind of, like, grab maneuver, like some shot of dark energy that was gonna take Vayne and turn him into Vayne, right? and Larsa jumped in the way and took it instead. And then the final boss was Larsa mixed with Vana. And we had to kill Larsa to end the war. Because I was thinking about it, and like, okay, the whole thing with Larsa is he disagrees with his brother, but it's his brother. And he has to make the decision in the end to go against his brother because he's evil, right? But Larsa's whole thing is like, he still wants to be, like, it's still his brother, and he still loves his brother. Whereas Vayne is kind of like, I'm going to show you the way that it needs to be, and if not, then screw you. And so, instead of it just all panning out exactly the way we thought it was going to, Larsa eventually finally turns on Vayne and does what needs to be done, and it all just kind of becomes happy ending. What if Larsa jumps in front to save Vayne in hopes that he changes his ways, and this was the only way to truly change Vayne, is to show him a true brotherly love by sacrificing himself. And I don't know what would happen to Vayne after that. Maybe Vayne still dies, and it's like a, you know, double bad ending. But I was thinking that would be a really interesting finale to Larsa's story, instead of him just being like, you know, well, no, it's not betraying his principles. Like, he, by doing that, he both saves his brother and what he thinks is saves the world. Saves the Empire. Because if Vayne becomes Vana Vayne, in his mind, you know, it's over. He destroys everything. So he jumps in the way to try to prevent both the destruction of the Empire and the destruction of his brother. And it would have been a less, like, cookie-cutter ending. I mean, the whole game, they build up him, like, thinking his brother's wrong, but still sticking with him. And there's that whole conversation he has with Penelo where he's like, he'd never do that. He's gonna turn around. You'll see. I'll save him. Doesn't he even literally say that? Doesn't he literally say, like, I will save Vayne? Like, I will change Vayne and make him good to Penelo? So, like, that would have been a great twist at the end, to have him save him from Vana. Instead, he just turns on him and lets him die. Which, I can't blame the guy, but, you know, it doesn't fit, like, what they built up. That would have been a really cool twist, because you wouldn't expect him to die, but at the same time, it fits his character that he would do that. I don't know, I think it would have been a cool... Because this ending, I mean, like I said, it's not bad, but it's very cookie-cutter. Literally, every character does exactly what we thought they would do from the beginning. Vayne becomes evil, Larsa becomes the Empire king, Ashe becomes queen, Bosh becomes judge again, Balthier and Fran become sky pirates again, Vaughn and Penelo become closer and quote-unquote sky pirates. Everyone literally does exactly what it is they were set up to do. And even... Well, actually, does Gabranth die? I guess we don't know. We didn't see him at the end there, so I guess he probably did. But all the judges died, except, what's his name, who was controlling the fleet. Wonder why we didn't see him at the end. I guess he wasn't that important. But, yeah, no, I enjoyed the ending. I did. I just think that it could have been maybe... Something could have made it a bit more interesting, because I could have told you everything that was going to happen. The only thing that caught me off guard was the Balthier thing, which shouldn't have, because that's his character. But I think that was done really well. Like, when he said, I'm going to go check the engine room, I actually believed him for a minute. Because, like, he did that earlier, too. I think they set that up well. and then he was like, wait, where is he? Like, that was a great moment. Like, that whole Balthier thing was great. I loved it. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Seems like most people here disagreed with me, although I think some people are like, I get it, but seems like most of you disagreed with my ending, but I'd be curious to see what YouTube thinks as well. I just think it would have been more of a shock value, like there would have been a little bit more going on, and I think it fits his character. It fits his character because he wanted nothing more than to save Vayne. Throughout the whole story, he was always like, I'm going to save Vayne. I'm going to make it, I'm going to, whatever I got to do to get Vayne to realize the way the Empire should be, I'm going to make it happen. And then he just turns on him and then doesn't die, so he becomes the leader of the Empire. Which is a bit lame for him. I wish there wasn't even like a conclusion to their relationship. Like, Vayne just said, watch as I kill these guys. And he was like, no. And then Vayne kind of ignored him. Like, there wasn't even a moment where Vayne turned the corner. And like it would have been better if when he said, I mean, granted, he does like attack Larsa during the fight, I guess. But during that cutscene where Larsa was like, no, I'm gonna fight you. How great would it have been if Vayne was like, well, screw you then, and like backslapped him up against the wall or something. You know what I mean? Like, we never get that true evil intention out of Vayne. He's just a politician, and then Vana takes him over, and we never get that. And his voice is so like cut and dry, and we never get like I said, Cid was so much more interesting. Cid was like, had these crazy dreams of grandeur and went like insane and basically sacrificed himself just so Vana could have the power and try to destroy the Sun Chris so that Vana could go do his thing. Cid didn't even care if he died. So like, yeah, I really disliked Vayne, and I can see why no one ever talks about him. And whenever I see I've seen like backgrounds of all the villains from the games, and Vayne isn't even like there. Like, he just isn't really. I mean, I get that if you really want to sit down and talk about it, like, yeah, he was evil politically. He killed his dad. He took over, tried to make the war happen that no one else wanted to happen, wanted supreme power. But you need to show and not tell. I know that he did things evil, but we just don't get enough show. We don't get enough. I want to see him straight up try to kill his brother. Once he realizes that his brother is against him, just fine, and just grab him and choke him, and then Vaughn comes in and saves him or something. Like, just something that's, they just do way too much telling and not enough showing with Vayne. And then at the end, he's like just giving up, and the fight with him was lame. It was easier than Gabranth, which that's more of a gameplay thing, but why was he so easy? Why he didn't even have a weapon? Like, that was his final, because after that, it was the power of the Nethicite, which I don't count as him, because anyone could grab the Nethicite and become a monster. So, when it comes to just Vayne himself, that's it. He had like a little, like, he said that thing to Ash in like a monotone voice, and then Larsa was like, no, I'm going to fight you. And then he just punched us and kicked us a little bit. And that was it. And he fell over forward. Like, I expected him to, after that first phase, be like, now I'll show you. But no, he like fell over and died almost. He was just like, plop. That was his whole, after all that was his whole plan, was to just punch us to death. And then the Nethicite activates. But like, I don't know. It just wasn't the same. Like with Cid, he was like, he had the Nethicite power already. He had already tapped into the power. He had his big guns. He was shooting us with his big guns and just doing crazy stuff. And Vayne was just like, I'm going to punch him to death. And then after the punching to death didn't work, he uses the Power Stone. The Power Stone doesn't work, and he gives up. You know? And it's just like, pretty, yeah. I just didn't sell me on that. But yeah, I think an ending where the brothers, like more of a tragedy ending with the brothers would have been more interesting. Instead of just Larsa is now the Empire leader because he's the only one left. Like, I don't know. I really do think, like, if Larsa and Vayne had died, instead of the Empire just still being around, but just not being as hostile, the Empire would have truly died. There would have been no leader left. The Empire would have been destroyed. I feel like that's a better ending than just, oh, well, Larsa's in charge now and he's not a jerk. Like, we ended the war, but the Empire still exists. Everything is the way it pretty much was when we started the game. Like, I don't know. The story is more realistic and less cliche. I agree and disagree with that. It was realistic in terms of, like, the people did realistic things. But in terms of the character arcs, it was anything but less cliche. It was literally the first line of dialogue from every character in the game is what they ended up being. The first thing they say to us, like, I'm going to be the queen, or I'm going to be a sky pirate, or I'm going to protect this guy, or I'm going to become a judge, or whatever. Like, whatever they said they wanted to do is exactly what happened at the end. There was no, twist, nothing happened that we didn't expect. Funnily enough, I think Vaughn's arc is the most interesting. Like, Balthier is definitely the best character, but his arc is just, he was a sky pirate, he's still a sky pirate. He kills his father and truly puts the judge life behind him. So, like, that was his arc. But in the end, from the beginning to the end, he was a sky pirate before, he's a sky pirate now, right? Vaughn, at least, like, goes through this journey where he realizes what's important and becomes, quote-unquote, sky pirate. But not really. Like, he instead becomes what he should have been in the first place. Like, him and Pinello become a team. Also, I forgot to talk about Pinello. Can we go back in time and put that Pinello character design into the game? Hello? Like, who's with me here? I don't, like, if you want to keep her character the same, fine. But that character design was 1,000 times better than the character design we get in the game. That design was incredible. I loved that design. It's 1,000 times better than whatever this is. Discount Vaughn. Like, that Pinello was awesome. And if she was like, if you took that character design and put it at the start of the game and made her more like bubbly and like maybe even like silly, like, what kind of character am I thinking of here? Something like, who's like an off, kind of like loony character. Like, she's a bit off, she's a bit different, she's weird but bubbly. I almost said maybe Selfie. I almost said what's her name from 13, Vanille, but not really Vanille. Something like Riku or Yuffie, or I think Selfie is probably a good pick. Like, give me a Selfie type character with that character design and have her spice up the cutscenes instead of literally just repeating what other people say. Imagine we have all the cutscenes in this game, but then she's kind of giving us some humor or some goofiness. That would have been 1,000 times better than literally just regurgitating what other people say the entire game. You know? That would have been way better. I really, really liked that character design. I wish they had... And why put that much work into that character who's only in that last cutscene? She must be in the DS version, right? She must be like a main character in the DS game. Maybe they already had the DS game planned and they were like... They already had that character design. Yeah. They must have already had it planned, because there's no way they put that much work into that character design. Fix Bosh next. I don't know how to fix Bosh, honestly. He needed like a side... He needed something else going on throughout the game. Because his arc ended an hour into the game. He needed like a side thing going on. He needed like a secondary something. Maybe if they had done a bit more with his brother, instead of it kind of just happening at the end. Yeah, I think maybe what would have been better with Bosh is if Gabranth showed up more. If Gabranth was literally like our rival, our, you know, he was Gary, you know, where every couple of hours, here's another Gabranth fight, and he was constantly trying to stop us throughout our entire journey, and every time he did it, him and Bosh got into it. That way, the payoff with him at the end would have been more epic. Instead, he's kind of like lost, and then at the end, he's like, "Brother, how could you do this?" Maybe if Vossler had survived longer, and then they had like an epic showdown at the end, yeah. Maybe if Vossler had lasted longer, and then at the end there was like a three-way battle between Bosh, Vossler, and Gabranth. It was like a shootout. Texas shootout. All three of them on separate sides. Something like that. But I don't really know what else to do with Bosh. I mean, me personally, I just don't like Bosh, so I don't really know if I'm the right person to come up with his story, but like, I just never really liked his character at all to begin with, so... But I think that maybe there could have been more... I honestly think if Gabranth was like a Gary character that was a bit more involved in the story, it would have made Bosh a bit more important. I really wish there was more between Balthier and Fran, too. I love their interactions, but I just feel like they're put to the side too much for everything else. We just kind of have to believe that they are a couple that are inseparable, but we don't really get to see it. I'm imagining a part in the story where they do argue or get into a fight and then they reconcile. I feel like that would have strengthened their bond more to us as the player or something. I don't know. I don't know if like a fight between them would really work though. Something else to show us. Or you know what we really needed was like a backstory of how they met, but more involved. Like maybe even we play it. Like a flashback where we literally play as Balthier meeting Fran for the first time. Something like that to like really give us this awesome look at like their relationship. You know, maybe that would have worked for all the characters. Now that I'm thinking about it. I'm not a huge fan of like flashback scenes. But with a game like this where there's so much tell and not as much show, maybe a good way to show us these interactions that we're supposed to care about. We could have had a flashback where Balthier and Fran first meet, a flashback where Vaughn and Penelo first meet, and a flashback where Ash and Bosh first meet. That would have been perfect. 2, 2, and 2. In each of the flashbacks, you get those two characters. And it strengthens the bond between those three separate groups. Because we understand Bosh is completely loyal to Ash, but we don't really get to see it. And Penelo and Vaughn, we understand, are together, but we don't get to see them meet either. And same with Balthier and Fran. That would have been perfect. Like, each third of the game, like a third of the game goes by, and then one night they're sleeping, or like going to bed, and one of the characters is like, so, Balthier, how did you meet Fran? And then it goes into a backstory, and you get to play as Balthier and Fran. And then another third of the game goes by, and they're like, so, Vaughn, how did you meet Penelo? And then you play that one, and then one more third. Bosh, how did you, why, you know, you're so loyal to Ash, but like, what actually happened? And then you play a backstory with those two. Because, and I mean, if you played through the game and you were really sold on the character interactions, then I'm happy. But I'm just not sold on them. You know, I just didn't see enough. I didn't see enough for me to feel like Vaughn and Penelo are this inseparable. I mean, they bicker between each other, but in the end they're inseparable. I don't see enough to buy it. And the same with Ash and Bosh. And both Aaron and Fran, I buy it more. But I feel like the game would have been better if we get to see that more, instead of it just already being a thing when the game starts. Yeah, and there's plenty of perfect places for it to do it. Because I don't know, it just doesn't hit me as hard as, you know. And I hate to compare games all the time, but I think it's fair, especially when it's in the same series. You know, something like Steiner and the Princess. It's like, we get to see it. We get to see Steiner and the Princess, and how Steiner is super loyal to the Princess, but he has to split his loyalty between the Princess and the Queen, who's obviously evil. And then they get separated, and then they get together again, and the Steiner getting on his knees like, Princess, I finally found you. And then he thinks she's dead, and he loses his mind, and we get to really, like, see how much he cares about the Princess. And stuff like that is all over the series. Here it's like, what do we get with Vaughn and Penelo? We get like that opening scene where Penelo's like, Vaughn, stealing stuff again. And that's really it. And we get like one scene where, or maybe two scenes, where they talk about their parents. But yeah, it's just, I miss the emotional scenes between the characters that make me, you know, on the edge of my seat when I think one of them might die or might get separated, you know. I'm still so sold on this Penelo thing. If Penelo had looked like that the entire game and had like a personality that actually clashed with Vaughn's, and we got to see that the whole game, man, she'd be so much of a better character. I'm not saying she has to be annoying. She doesn't have to be like Yuffie annoying, like, but just a more energetic character that actually clashes with Vaughn instead of just making fun of him every once in a while, but actually agreeing with him. And actually bringing stuff to the conversations instead of just repeating what somebody just said. And visually, she's just so boring, and at the end, she looked so cool. Like, I immediately got this feeling of, like, I want to see what she can do. Like, I want to see what kind of weapon she uses. I want to see what her dialogue is like. Like, as soon as I saw that character design, and then when I realized it was Penelo, I was like, oh. You know, and I didn't get that. The first time you see Penelo, you're like, who's this? Is this an NPC? Like, who is this? Oh, okay, she's in my party. Let's go to the Necro Hall and explore. What's the quickest? I guess the death thing, right? Yeah, overall, it was a cool, epic finale. The cutscenes were incredibly impressive for the PS2. The music was good at the end there. Yeah, and, you know, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, I tend to like more emotional, character-driven, intimate stories. And I don't think that was exactly the plan here. This game was meant to be more of a grandiose, political, you know, something that, like, epic. It was meant to be epic and huge and bigger than itself, and, you know, supposed to wow you with the visuals and how big the world is. And I think it does that well. I think that a lot of what I miss in this game is not exactly what they were going for. So. But it's Final Fantasy, and up to this point, it was mostly always an intimate, character-driven story, so I think it's fair for me to compare it to other Final Fantasies and say it definitely missed the mark in that aspect. If you're expecting a intimate story with characters, which you should be, given it was that for 10 games, you know, I think that it's fair to say we're missing that. That's not including 11, though, which obviously missed that as well, but... I gotta say, though, complete honesty, I like Vaughn more than I did before I started playing. I remembered Vaughn pretty much completely falling off the edge of the earth after like 2 hours in, but I honestly think he had an okay arc. Nothing special, and he's definitely incredibly annoying in the middle of the game. But I think his arc kind of had a nice payoff. Nothing groundbreaking, but I don't hate how he ended, you know? I did find it kind of funny at the end when he was the one to stab Vayne and, like, kind of finish him off before Vayne took him over. In a way, it was like, it felt like Square was like, hey, look, this is the main character. He's doing the thing. Whereas anyone could have done that. Like, Bosh was standing there. Penelo was standing there. Well, Bosh wasn't. He was over there, but Balthier was there, Fran was there. Like, anyone could have done it, but it was like, no, Vaughn has to do it. He's the main character, remember? There was nothing that made it feel like it had to be him, you know? Like, only Vaughn could have done it. Good thing he was with us, because he saved the day. Like, it could have been anyone. He was already pretty much dead at that point. You just picked up the sword and finished it.